I could go into heavy detail, and I will. And I will go into heavy detail.
What did I ever do to you?
Called me a whore and pushed me in front of a car.
Heidi, I was in a bad mood!
Every system has the one who tries to be a fully functioning human in society. The one who's the reason we will never fully function in society. The one who actually does shit like housework, homework, etc. The lesbian. The ones who have no idea how the fuck they ended up here. People who will get us fake claimed. Hypersexual bitches. Bitches who don't want touched at all. The life of the party. The wallflower. The one who uses substances to deal with things. The one who's the reason why we procrastinate. Everything. And finally, the ones who actually keep our life on track.
I don't even have time for my love life, to see my family. I don't even have time for nothing. I'm working every single day. I'm depressed.
Hey, if you're a singlet and I'm on your For You page, could we stop and have a chat for a second? So let's just do a little experiment here, okay? So let's say you're scrolling through your For You page, right? And then you come up on a system's TikTok. You go to the comment section, and the comment section is flooded with fake claimers and hateful people. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit there and are you gonna respond to every one of the hateful comments? I don't think so. I personally don't think that ever does anything. Instead, in that comment section filled with hate, please leave something encouraging and nice for the system. You can't fight all of the hate at once as one singlet. But what you can do is you can validate that system as a singlet and say, I see you, I hear you, I believe you, don't listen to all of these fake claimers. That's how we fight it.
I don't really know what I want to say about this yet, but I've been thinking a lot about intersectionality when it comes to Tourette syndrome. It mainly got in my head because I was looking for representation of characters that have Tourette's, and they're all cis, straight, white men who previously didn't have other disabilities and such. But I see it reflected very clearly in real life situations as well with other people that have Tourette's. But the way people who have Tourette's are treated based on their other marginalized identities is so vastly different. Like, especially for people who are AFAB, pretty much everyone I know with Tourette's that is perceived as a woman experiences sexual harassment, specifically in regards to their Tourette's. And I've never seen a man experience that. And specifically myself being trans, the majority of the ableism I face for having Tourette's is tied in with me being trans and gay. It's just interesting to think about.
Michael's Day Out. The Alps are sad RBF went back home yesterday. I'm tired of hearing it. I bought everyone's favorite comfort food because I'm the best, obviously. So many plushies. This one's stepped wrong. This is stupid. But I bought Tilly a new plushie. She's been the saddest, so this better help. I'm King tired.
Before I make this video, I want to make it very clear that I'm not making this to prove anything to anybody, especially fake claimers. I'm kind of doing this to, like, show other systems or people who think they might be systems, what you should do as research versus what you shouldn't do, by telling you how I researched DID for a year straight, and I still am. It's always good to start out with videos of people who have the disorder talking about it when they share their own personal experiences. Because DID is different for everybody, it gives you a better perspective on it, but obviously you can't go just off of that. There's the DSM there's a bunch of medical documents that are easy to find on Google if you go to like the scholar writing section, and there's a specific medical website that has a bunch of stuff about DID, a bunch of research, a bunch of people's not tests, but like a bunch of their own research on the fact to disprove and reprove facts about DID, that if I remember it, I will link it down below. It's really informational, and it has a lot of proof behind misconceptions and stuff like that. Along with medical documents, if you reach out to therapists or you reach out to people who have spoken with others who have DID, who understand it from a viewer's perspective, it's good to listen to that too, because you might not notice the actions that you're doing, but others might. And if you're not comfortable with talking to the people around you, you could always talk to it in a like incognito kind of way, where you're not directly saying, I think I have DID, have you ever noticed me doing these things? It could just be, sometimes I feel weird about this, did you notice something too? Just people who care about you will say something. But I just want to say that research for DID is not just watching people on the internet, because you never know. But there are so many easy to find medical and, you know, proved documents, as well as PDFs of books. I read the entire DSM-5. It took me 2 weeks. The entire section on dissociative disorders, because it's so informational, and it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it. It debunks indogenics, stuff like that. Please, if you're really curious and you have the time, please read that stuff.
I know this isn't the answer you want to hear, but I have to tell it to you. The only way you can know what is causing your tics, or if you actually have tics and not something that mimics tics, like myoclonic seizures, for example, the only way you can know is by going to a doctor. In order to determine that I had Tourette syndrome and not something else, I had a series of 3 or 4 different blood tests. Those are used to rule out copper poisoning, to rule out autoimmune disorders like PANS or PANDAS, or a really rare one that's caused by cancer. A neurologist should also help you determine whether it's actually Tourette's or if you have functional tics, which it can be pretty tricky to tell the difference. But yeah, the only way that you can know that you have Tourette's and not something that's like gonna kill you is if you go to a doctor, specifically a neurologist. They'll help you rule out whether you do have tics or a mimicking condition and what's causing them. There's this very prevalent belief that Tourette syndrome is like really rare and it affects a very small amount of people. And while, fuck your mom. And while the percentage of people that it affects, 0.6%, seems pretty low, let me put that into perspective for you. There's another ailment that you might have heard of before. It also affects 0.6% of people, and it's called, wait for it, peanut allergies. The same percentage of people that are affected by Tourette syndrome are affected by peanut allergies. But you don't see anyone going around fake claiming people with peanut allergies because it's so rare, not everyone that says they have it could possibly have it. Tourette syndrome is just much more stigmatized and outlandish to most people than a peanut allergy.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Got soup. How are you this evening, my dear?
Very well. Only I wish you would not call me my dear.
What are you looking forward to most about this film?
Well, I think I'm looking forward to cracking up.
So what you're essentially talking about is a complete authoritarian Orwellian nightmare where the government has complete abject control.